why does it look like the market is concerned about this deal?
Good afternoon, Matt and Amber. I cannot comment on the market, but I can definitely talk about the excitement we have in executing the strategy that we laid out. One of the pillars of Magna strategy was to be able to accelerate investment in fast-growing areas that are relevant to the car of the future. ADAS is one of them. And you really have to look at the long-term sustainable shareholder value, and that's where we are focusing. It's a really fast-growing market. We have a great foundation, and with the acquisition that we're talking about, it really we are able to offer a complete suite of ADAS features to all OEMs. That's what we're really excited about.
So one of the reasons that analysts, at least say investors, are nervous is because so you've done this acquisition, it's going to mean a pause in buybacks, and it's not going to show up in earnings for a couple of years. So walk us through, I guess, what this acquisition buys you that you didn't already have or that you couldn't do on your own when it comes to safety and autonomous vehicles.
Amber, to answer your first part of the question, we have been really consistent in the capital allocation strategy. We said we would employ capital for the growth of the company for the long term. And with any excess cash that we have, we would go into the share buybacks. We have done that, and we have adhered to the philosophy when we did the acquisition of Getrack 5 years ago, and here we are again. In terms of just looking at the overall the foundation that we have, this is really a fast-growing area in the automotive industry. And whenever there is a fast-growing area, you are really looking for a platform development that is modular and scalable. And once we have this platform in place, the more you can proliferate and implement at scale, the better the synergies you have. With the strength and the balance sheet of Magna, with the technologies that we had as a foundation, and with what is coming with the acquisition, we believe this will really set us up from a broad customer perspective, from the geographic footprint and the synergies that we can bring together from testing, validation, tool chain, and all of this in the new area. I think will actually accelerate the proliferation into the market and also the profitability.
Swamy, there's clearly we have a chip problem, and that's a moving picture, I realize, but a lot of OEMs are talking about working directly with chip suppliers. What do you think of that kind of new relationship? Is it a problem for Tier 1 suppliers like Magna?
No, Matt, I don't think it's a problem. I think we can solve this problem only by working together through the entire value chain. We are talking about visibility for a longer time, not just the 3 or 6 months. How do you plan the next 12 months, next 18 months? And as you know, automotive is a really complex value chain. It's something that we all realize and we are all learning. I'm really proud of how the industry has addressed it. Like you said, the situation is very fluid, but I don't think it's to the detriment of any Tier 1. It's just the whole ecosystem needs to work together.
Speaking of that ecosystem, hey, when do you think we're going to get that Apple car?
Amber, I've answered the question before. Cannot discuss any customers in the point, but I've also said we are happy to have the ability and the capability from design engineering, from manufacturing, and a very broad portfolio. So we're always excited to add anybody who is willing to work with Magna.
I'll tell you, Swamy, in full disclosure, I drive a vehicle produced by Magna Steyr in Graz, and I'm very happy with it. I'm hoping that you're going to be able to make an electric version of this all-wheel drive off-road vehicle, and I'm wondering, what your EV plans are like.
I think we're really excited about the EV plan. Just looking at the broad portfolio, not just the powertrain, but all other product areas in Magna are really well positioned to address this. And with the acceleration in the EV market, I think we are, really looking for a increased content per vehicle and a higher addressable market. And Matt, I'm really sure you're, happy with the vehicle that you drive. I'm not the one to comment on it, but I wish I could, but there is a really exciting roadmap. That's all I can say.
I say I'm in love with the vehicle that I drive, and without naming it, I will also say there's at least a 2-year waiting list to buy this truck. Are you having any thoughts about boosting production? I mean, are you having these kind of, waiting list issues with other products?
It's kind of on and off, but we depend on the releases that come from the customers, and the strength of the manufacturing DNA that we have at Magna is really to be able to have that flexibility, right? And we have been able to meet the needs, with the chip shortage and all the other supply chain issues that we're having. There is a lot of up and down, and that is the challenge. How do we shift from one variant to the other, one platform to the other, and keep everything going? But that's the name of the game, and we are happy to be keeping everything moving with the customers.